concentration. So here is when we start to concentrate. And I kind of tell the students, it's like when our minds are not at ease, they're kind of like wavy ocean water. But when we come into the state of concentration in our breath and our meditation, it's like the water becomes this clear, still pond. And then when spirit starts to bring us information, it's like a droplet hits that clear pond and it ripples out into your consciousness. And we start to be very receptive to the impressions that are coming in. So healers like myself that are tuned in and that they're very intuitive and they're picking up on things, the magic that we really have is that we have learned to master our concentration and our stillness of mind. So we become so awake and aware that we are just like that clear pond, and that impression comes in and we tune in and listen to it. So you become a really great listener. When you get into the next step of meditation, dhyana, this is when we're going into this place where we're withdrawing into the consciousness of the soul. So now I can start tuning into other realms of esoteric information that in my conscious state, if I'm too busy, angels can be talking to me, signs could be coming in. I might have a spirit, like a brother or sister that passed away in spirit, or a grandfather, and they're coming and they're trying to help me. And if I'm in that wavy ocean energy, I'm not picking up on any of it. And then I just tell the world that that stuff's not real because I'm not calm and clear enough to sense it. So it's not that it's not real or that spirits aren't nearby or that angels aren't helping and bringing us messages. They're always helping us. They're always communicating. And the universe is always in a state of communication and evolution. It's just that we're not open and receptive to hear and to pick up on it because of the mind chatter, because of the stress, because of the ego's need to keep us separate. So as we get to that place where we choose to come into that consciously, this is where we start to realize I'm a soul. Oh my gosh, I'm way bigger than this body. I am way bigger than my mind. I am powerful. I am getting information from angels. I am getting warnings of premonitions. I am picking up on information and solution to this question. And I'm getting it because I am so awake and aware, and I'm tuning into higher consciousness. And it's available to all of us if we just start to practice listening. And the last state is called samadhi, or it's ecstasy. And this is what many talk to as nirvana or bliss. Yeah. And that's when you start to get to that place that you are so in your relaxation of meditation, you are so in a state of beingness that you're no longer feeling that you need to be doing anything. And so that means we go from this place where we think that we're just physical and we need to make things happen physically, and we can get into that place vibrationally where I am everything in the universe. I am energy, and I feel as if my body lifts out, or my spirit lifts out of my body, and I'm just floating in energy. This place of creation, what I like to call the conscious creation space when we're in meditation, is the most powerful thing, the most powerful place that you will ever enter consciously. Because when we enter that state of consciousness, we can draw to us everything we desire. We don't any longer identify with, oh, that stuff I want is out there and I have to go get it. We come here in stillness and we call it all in. What I call the art of calling it forth. We start to call forth the magic, the money, the helpers, true love, all the support, all the honor, all the reverence, all those things we desire. We call it into our center. And I like to tell students, it's kind of like, imagine your core is like this metal rod, and source is like the electrical bolt that comes down and it electrifies and energizes you. And all the things you desire are like metal shards that cannot help but be drawn magnetically to your center. So when you're looking at life as everything's out there away from me and it's hard to get it, it's like taking a north-facing magnet and a north-facing magnet, and you're pushing them together and they cannot come together because you believe they're separate. If you flip it around and you are the metal beam, that magnetic core, and everything you desire is the shards, they come in. And you just let them come in, let them come in, let them come in until there's nothing left to wish to come in. And then you release it to the universe and you allow. And this is where we really start to live in the state of trust and gracefulness, because we realize we can't make it happen externally, but we can vibrationally claim it now. And then we allow the process of manifestation to happen in the physical realm, where we take that vibrational alignment and we give it a little time to manifest here in the physical dimension. Because it does sometimes take a little time, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you can manifest just like that. But if it does take a little time, if we know that and we're patient, we can just call it in. And then next day in meditation, we call it in. We continuously see it as it's one of us. It's part of us. It's not separate. And it cannot help but show up. So when we get into like, why would it be important to practice our yoga understanding and practice meditation? And why would it be important to release ourselves from ego enslavement? I would say, why would we choose to ever go there again is the more aligned question. Because each of you living your life right now, when you've been in ego, you know you're suffering. You know that it's not rewarding. You know that it constantly keeps you in a state of separation and fear. So it's up to you to either have the awareness to say, I'm going to keep choosing that because I just want to do it. I like suffering. I like competition. I like it to be hard. And so I'm going to do it. Or I'm stubborn and I don't want to change. At least be honest. But if you realize that it's not serving you and it's not really helping in any way, and it's in fact maybe hurting relationships in your life, or it could be causing, trouble in your finances or in your health, start to be open enough to choose a shift. And all it takes is to start looking for the alignment, looking for the miracles. Go to meditation teachers that you feel are in alignment and trust. Go to their classes, show up each week, show up and be accountable, and give time for your soul. Like, really carve out time in your week, what I call sacred soul time, where you honor the soul's need for connection, and you go around those who are of high vibration that are guiding you and leading you in that alignment. If you don't, and you say, oh, I would love to go there, but I can't afford it, or I don't have time, or yada, 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 really, you're choosing not to go towards solution, and you're choosing to stay stuck in the problem. And that is a choice. And so if you start to really pay attention to that choice, and why would I choose to go counter to what would really help me, it could be very liberating for you. So I'm going to pause and see if there's any feedback or anything coming in.
No.
Anything?
No, they're all just sitting back. I even asked if none of them wants a free reading. Nothing.
Okay. Well, there it is in listening mode. That's okay.
Just soaking it.
That's right. So when we were talking about ego, so the ego, it identifies with what you have and who you are. It identifies with your accomplishments, like what have I achieved? How many Grammys did I win? Can't talk. It identifies with your job, like what is it I do? Am I superior because I'm this or that? And so it's always going to be triggered to those things. If we're connecting to ego, we're going to be stimulated by things in a very external way. But if we're coming from our soul's alignment, we can still have jobs that are very fulfilling, that we love, but we know that we're not just that job. We could have a relationship we love and adore, but we know if that relationship leaves us or shifts, we're still fine because we're one with Source, and whatever is leaving is for the highest good. Its time has come, and whatever is for the highest good for us now is on its way. So it really is such a beautiful shift because it takes us out of fear. It takes us out of a need to control. It takes us out of lack and suffering. And I can't underestimate how beautiful it will be when each of you choose it if you haven't already, because it will change everything in your world. Your life will suddenly become so magical and so fulfilling and rewarding simply from your own shift in perspective and your own shift in alignment. And so I'm going to read a page from Getting into the Vortex that I opened up to today.
Before you go
Yep.
to read,
Yes.
Kathy's saying, with Thanksgiving near, any comments on gratitude?
What's that?
With Thanksgiving near, Any comments on gratitude?
Well, if we remember how we've talked about this in the past with vibrational alignment, gratitude is like the catapult to launch you forward in your vibrational alignment. So when we come together for Thanksgiving, we have some actually really kind of honestly messed up ways that it all happened in our country, but we kind of celebrate it as this time of gratitude and honor. And so when we come together with family, this can actually be such a great test for each of you this week, because when we come together with our family, we often will be challenged with ego. We'll be challenged with attachments to roles and titles. How do we live and behave when grandma shows up? We haven't seen, mom in a while, and now when I'm around her, I suddenly go into child mode, even though I'm 40 years old. So Thanksgiving and holiday times can be very stressful to a lot of people because they're in this fear of that happening. They're in fear of the control or the ego or the family battles and dynamics that can happen. So when you're entering this year, if each of you can just practice the meditation and calmness before you go to your family's events and really make a contract and agreement with yourself that as I enter, I'm going to enter with a state of grace and presence. I'm going to enter and I'm going to look out with the eyes of how may I serve? How may I really listen to and honor those who connect with me instead of who's going to be listening to me and what if they do this to me and what if they don't appreciate what I do, which will start the energy in that way. So if we're focused on that, we will create drama instantly. People will enter the house and they'll just feel like grandma's pissed already because she's expecting everyone to not be appreciative of her. So if we can all practice in our power, be present, peaceful, and focused on how may I serve, how may I show honor, this could be one of the best Thanksgivings you ever had. And I would say that every day is a day for Thanksgiving, not just one day of the year. If we all started to practice, what if we did a game where from now until next Sunday, every one of us posts 5 things we're grateful for on Facebook. We write in our journal at the end of the day 5 things we're grateful for. At the dinner table, my family and I play this game where sometimes they get irritated by it, but it's just, I know I'm helping them, and so I'll be like, hey guys, what's everybody grateful for today? Like, what are you grateful for? What did you appreciate today? And then my kids will kind of think about it, and sometimes they're silly and just say silly things, and sometimes it really opens up some deeper connections of what's going on inside of them. So we can do these things at home with our families, like practice the gratitude game, in your own journals, getting to know what you're grateful for. When you're focused on your gratitude, when you're focused on all the abundance and what you already have, you are a magnet pulling more in. So the people that seem to always be in lack and they're always suffering and they're always barely getting by and they're always complaining, notice, most of these people are complaining and they're always talking about their lack. And they're never focused on abundance. This is the magical ingredient to manifestation, and manifesting what you want is gratitude. So what Kathy's saying, absolutely powerful. But is it just for one day of the year? Because, the white people came over and took the land from the Native Americans. Sorry, I don't mean to mock Thanksgiving, but there's a lot about it that I think is kind of messed up. But the tradition of gratitude, we can have this every day. We can show honor to the earth, show honor to each other, show honor to our families, show honor to ourselves. Say no this week. How about this whole week? Someone asks you something and you don't want to do it. You have the courage to say no. How about you start to stop committing to things that you really don't want to do, and you start saying yes to the things you really want to do? Because this is a way we betray ourselves, and we don't live in, whereas living in our truthfulness, we lie and betray ourselves because we do things for others out of guilt and obligation instead of out of heartfelt desire. So what if this week we focus on 5 things we're grateful for? I will do it on Facebook. I will do it in my journal. I'll motivate and get everyone in my yoga classes to participate if they want to. And what if we really set that intention to come from that space of gratitude and to start paying attention to our alignment and to start paying attention to our integrity and saying no and saying yes only when it's true.